El Paso. El Paso. Albuquerque. No matter the sport, no matter the year, the Camino Real rivalry is real and passionate and forever. Soccer is no different. Last year, head-to-head, New Mexico United had the upper hand. But that was then. Now, like the river that runs through both cities, momentum has been flowing steadily south, and El Paso is wreaking its own brand of havoc. With the group title on the line, will Locomotive FC clinch? Or does United stay alive? El Paso Locomotive FC, New Mexico United. The battle is on.
The final home match of the regular season heading your way. But first, a quick look behind the scenes brought to you by GECU as the Locomotive players make their way into the stadium. Coming off 3 matches in a week, picking up all 9 points, and a win tonight will secure first place in Group C for the Locomotive.
Welcome to the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Visit ChucoRealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
Welcome to the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team pregame show. I am Duke Keith, joined in a socially distant booth by my broadcast partner, Michael Baligan. And Mike, very happy to be with you as we cap off the 2020 season here in El Paso. It's been a very successful one for Locomotive FC.
Yeah, it's been a great season despite the COVID challenges. The team has played absolutely fantastic. They're undefeated in the last 8, and they've won 5 in a row, a record for the club. But Coach Mark Lowry will be the first to give credit to everyone in this organization, from the ownership that's allowed him to acquire the players that he has over the course of the year, to the front office that's worked very hard to get fans back in the stadium. And Coach Mark Lowry alluded to how that's given them the extra push in a couple of games that they needed to go get a goal late in the game. So it's been a team effort so far for this team, and they're going to need that team effort tonight here. to get a win against New Mexico United.
Good spot to be in, though, for Locomotive FC. For El Paso, win tonight, you clinch first place, a home match in the first round of the playoffs. New Mexico down 4, a must-win for them if they want to have a shot at claiming the top spot in Group C.
Yeah, this is a huge game for both teams. There's a lot on the line. The Locomotive could clinch first place in Group C with the win tonight. And New Mexico United, they're looking to extend that. They usually extend that and push it as another game and possibly get Group C winners. So tonight's a very important match. It's a rivalry. They're definitely excited for it. The fans are excited for it. It's going to be a good one.
The battle for first place is on. That's going to do it for the Brian Birds Home Selling Team pregame show. Back with starting lineups right after the break.
Thank you for watching the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Visit ChucoRealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
Check, 1, 2. Group C on the line here in El Paso, Texas at Southwest University Park. Duke Keith Michael Balogun as we bring you New Mexico United, El Paso Locomotive FC. A big one tonight. We'll start with the starting lineups for the home team. Notable, the absence of Brent Coleman, recalled by Minnesota United. But Yuma, they're in the back line, has filled this role before, Mike.
Yeah, it's a loss for the Locomotive in the sense that Brett Coleman brought some athleticism, also some size, especially on set pieces, attacking and defending. However, Yuma's a very experienced player who has played in that position before, and he'll slot in and do the job tonight.
For Troy Lesane in New Mexico United, it is pretty much the same lineup that he's had most of this season. And great work by number 10, Armando Moreno, who has really come on this year and pressed one up one side and down the other.
Yeah, the big question when they brought in Armando Moreno was, can he step in and fill the shoes of Santi Mora? And I'd like to think that New Mexico fans and the club, the coach and staff, they feel like he's come in and he's done that, and they're pleased with his contribution to this team.
Happy to have our viewers in Albuquerque as well as here in El Paso and via ESPN Plus around the world. Welcome to El Paso, the fourth meeting between these two in the regular season. All 4 games, because of the state of New Mexico's COVID restrictions, have been played in the Sun City. Mexico United ready to pressure as they can. Rebellon, Mares, and Eder Borelli finds himself into the starting lineup. Coming on as a sub for Andrew Fox, who is out tonight as well, and we'll get to that in a bit with the Texas Tech Health Report. But out on that left wing, very effective, scored the only goal of the game. And a 1-0 Locomotive win over Real Monarchs SLC. 29 years old, coming to El Paso from Locomotive's sister squad. Omar Salgado did not miss by much. Turned, and on the half turn fires a left-footed volley that caught Mizell a bit by surprise just over the crossbar.
A very good start from the Locomotive, and you see what New Mexico United is going to try to do when Omar Salgado is on the ball. They're going to try to drop back off of him a little bit because of his pace and his ability to run at players. However, at that moment, he almost made him pay for giving him too much time and space.
Rebellon, Maris, a high boot that allows Salgado to control 1 against 3, and he'll win that battle. Out to Gomez. Gomez on the run, chased by Tinari, and a foul very early on. Locomotive FC with lots of pressure, Michael.
And you see on that New Mexico United dropping back. Sam Hamilton not sure whether to get close to Omar Salgado because of his pace or give him a little bit of room. And Omar Salgado recognizing the space and the time that he has, teeing up that left foot and shot, and just missed it over the bar.
So call this maybe 27, 28 yards off the byline. Is this Dylan Maris territory or Mishak Jerome?
Looks like it's going to be Mishak Jerome.
Jerome will take it, blasts it through, and it's off the upright. So crossbar, left upright, and Locomotive dangerously close in the opening 2.5 minutes.
And you love to see this start from the Locomotive. Traditionally in these matchups between El Paso and New Mexico United, it's been New Mexico United that started off strong and come out and gotten either early goal or early chances. So for El Paso to be able to turn it on and come out of the gates this early is a real positive for Coach Mark Lowry.
United will work the ball, trying to keep a bit of possession. That is a bad pass taken by Richie Ryan. Trying to find Juan Pablo Guzman. Missed entirely from the middle. By Sam Hamilton. Locomotive happy to possess. Sandoval last touched it, disagrees with the assistant referee. And then Borelli will throw it in. 5'7", 155 pounds from Monterrey. Been a big part of that Bravos build-up, getting into Liga MX. Off the back of Jerome's head means Ketterer can touch it. They'll play out of the back. Macaulay King. Well done. Chop Herrera. Yuma sliding into that center back role. As we pointed out, a place he's been before. Rebellon fights off the challenge. Suggs can't get it, and here's King. Macaulay King lofts one far post, and missing it is Gomez. It'll be run down. Put into the far post, tapped out by Mizell. Gomez wants a goal, he won't get one. But Locomotive FC with all kinds of pressure and possession. Maris, Ryan. Start it up and do it again. Borelli. That'll be hooked out of trouble, but only so far as Yuma. Now Wehan trying to get there, but Rebellon. Moreno, he gets loose of Yuma. Sliding tackle by Borelli, and let's take a check of the replay.
That's a very good ball to the back post from Maca King. Seen that a couple of times this year.
Boy, that was close over Well, Mizell, right place, right time. And all the ball has to cross. Josue Aron Gomez, though, thought he had a goal. And perhaps Rebellon should have. Well, free kicks have been the bane for both teams. Set pieces. Defensively, anyway. And here is Weehan. He'll allow Suggs to swing it in. Handball in. Let's take a check of the keys to the game for Locomotive FC, Michael.
They've got to deal with the high pressure of New Mexico United. We've seen them once already build out of the back against that high pressure. That's going to be important in this game. In the first 3 meetings, they've struggled a couple of times with that high pressure. So tonight, can they deal with it? Can they choose the moments to build and the moments to stretch New Mexico United and really take advantage of the gaps that open up in behind New Mexico United? Second one for me, can they have balance can they have defensive balance when they're in attack? We saw them get countered last game by Armando Moreno in the last game. Can they make sure they have some balance defensively when they're attacking? And the last one is, can they finish their chances? So far in this game, they've already had 4 clear chances. Can they put those away? You don't want to wait till late in the game to be looking for goals. Can they put chances away early in this game?
No second bounce for Devin Sandoval. Yuma clearing it out of trouble. That's a missed kick. Let's take a look at our officials tonight. The referee, Ricardo Fierro. Assistant referee number 1, Chris Canales. Assistant referee 2, Manuel Vargas. And our 4th official, Marco Vega, tonight. Borelli trying to dummy that is Chaparrera, and it's put into touch by Austin Yearwood.
And so far, the Locomotive have done a much better job dealing with the high pressure of New Mexico United. Yeah, we've seen them play out of it. We saw Logan Ketter in that moment electing to go big. They're gonna have to choose. They're gonna have to do a bit of both in this game to keep New Mexico United off balance a little bit.
Playing themselves out of the back third. It's a missed pass by Maka King. Nowhere for Muhammad to go forward. He'll knock it up cleanly for Kettering. Let's check the Texas Tech Health Report. Brought to you by our friends at the Texas Tech Physicians of El Paso. Andrew Fox and Nick Ross. Questionable, obviously not in the starting 18, and Chiro Intoko, as we spoke to him a couple of games ago, out for the season with a torn ACL. But Andrew Fox and Nick Ross, Michael, you've been at practice, and they are participating.
Yeah, it's good, especially Nick Ross, who's been out for a few weeks now, to be able to see him getting some touches on the ball.
Salgado, speaking of touches, earns a corner. Lifted out by Yearwood, trying to scuff one into the 6. And it'll be a Chick-fil-A corner kick. Dylan Maris will provide the very able service.
And early on in this game, you have to notice how dynamic the movement and of the players and the ball is for the Locomotive. It's not the slow build-up we've seen and work their way side to side. They're getting forward quickly.
Sliced in. Sandoval may have actually gotten a piece of that near the byline. It'll roll into touch for El Paso. And Maka King came to El Paso from Indy 11, and he has found a spot in the starting lineup ever since. Gomez. King will take a bit of a windup in this one. Into the 6, Mizell knocks it down. That'll be a foul. Gomez. I think he got over Hamilton's back a bit. So the free kick for Cody Mizell.
And Cody Mizell's a bit lucky there. Obviously, the goalkeepers are going to get protected a little bit more inside the 6. However, Osera is that Brian Rebellon only had eyes for the ball, challenges for that ball without even realizing Cody Mizell was coming out. So Cody Mizell gets a bit of protection from the referee. However, I'm not so sure if that was a foul.
Well, Locomotive FC, with all to play for tonight, with a win, which would be their second over this New Mexico United team all time, they would show up Group C, or shore up Group C, and the championship there. Speaking of wrapping things up, heading for the playoffs and playing your rivals, let's head down to the third member of our team, Tanya Dominguez, with words from Mark Lowry.
So the Locos are facing their biggest rivals, Mexico United, for the fourth and final time, unless there's a playoff matchup. But something interesting that Coach Mark Lowry said in preparation to tonight's match is that any previous match to today goes out the window, and you got to focus on today. He knows New Mexico is a very strong attacking team, and he said, in order for the Locos to win, they're going to have to score at least 3 goals. Now, that's something to be looking forward to. Every time El Paso has faced New Mexico this season, every match has been more and more intense. So, I mean, tonight is going to be a lot of fun. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Tanya. I would agree. I don't know about having to score 3 goals. I'm sure that Mark Lowry would like to be able to score 1 and put it to bed, as they did last weekend against Real Monarchs. But yeah, New Mexico loves to attack. That's the way Troy Lesesne plays, and you cannot understate a team that has already sewn up a playoff berth, whether or not they finish atop Group C or in second place. And every single match they've played is on the road. Very impressive. Inside, good tip. Salgado trying to control. He'll send it out to Borelli. Chips one in, an easy grab for Mizell. Looks like Borelli may have stumbled a bit trying to get there. And talking about Mark Lowry, just paying attention to the math. 6 goals in the 3 prior matches, so yeah, I guess, 3 would be the magic number, wouldn't it? Might have to be. Might have to be more.
Yeah, in all 3 games that the Locomotive have played against New Mexico United, it's been 2 goals for New Mexico United in the 1 win.
Brian, pardon me, that is not Brian. That is Omar Salgado, screaming in pain as he went down.
You can see the immediate concern on the faces of the Locomotive players. Looks like it's the right knee. Not exactly sure what happened there, but this entire stadium is pretty quiet. A lot of concerned looks on the faces of the fans here.
Well, both he and I believe Austin Yearwood going for the ball. I'm not sure we're going to get a good look at this, judging from some of the angles, but both players going for the ball. This is a Texas Tech nod to the dock. And I don't know if something just got tangled up, or if he planted.
I can't really tell from that angle.
It's really tough.
Doesn't look like there's a lot in it in the challenge from Austin Yearwood. Those are the ones that concern you a little bit when there's very little contact between the player and an opposition.
Omar Salgado. This would be a devastating loss for Locomotive FC to have him out for any length of time, especially near the end of the season. But We'll actually bring out one of the physicians to take a look. Omar, thankfully, up under his own steam, is helped to his feet, but is walking. And that, I think, might be the best news of all. Because that right leg, right knee, right ankle maybe, he wasn't moving it at all when he was down on the field. And Leandro Carrijo, it appears, will have to be an early substitution for Locomotive FC and Mark Lowry.
Yeah, and then this is the tough one for the Locomotive. Just obviously you don't want to lose, a player like Omar Salgado, but more so just how well he's been playing as of late. If the fans will remember the last meeting between the two teams, he provided the game-winning assist to Dylan Mayers that got the Locomotive the 3-2 win. So he's been a huge part of what they've done so far this season. He's been a huge part of this 5-game winning streak and the 8-game undefeated streak. So Coach Mark Lowry is going to be a big concern, not so much about this immediate game, but having 3 guys in Nick Ross, Andrew Fox, and Chiro and Tokoro out already. You don't want to lose another key member of your starting lineup to injury.
And in the 18th minute, it will be Leandro Carrijo, the 35-year-old Brazilian, coming to El Paso as well from their sister squad, FC Juarez Bravos. All-time leading scorer for that Bravos team, the Brazil native. Will get extended play here today as Omar Salgado exits and goes straight to the locker room.
And this changes up things just a little bit for the Locomotive. Two different style players. Omar Salgado can run at players, can stretch defenses. Leandro Carrillo is more of the stereotypical number 9 that's going to hold the ball up and bring other players into the attack with him. So it tweaks a little bit what the Locomotive are gonna look to do in the attack. Now it might have to be Jose Aaron Gomez that's doing the stretching of back lines and making those runs in behind.
Well, certainly Carrijo with the touch around the area. As you say, the typical number 9, did in service, and Chap Herrera's doing his best to do just that. Great work by Herrera, but controlled eventually by Moreno again. Herrera, and will be whistled for the foul. A little extra piece of Moreno's foot. But talk about El Paso strong. That is Chapa Herrera. As we pointed out before, young man showed up for open tryouts and never left. Mark Lowry so pleased to be able to offer someone from El Paso who just showed up his first professional contract. Up top, Sandoval, good service for Moreno. Trying to return the favor to the far post. Headed up and over by Maka King before Sandoval could get there. And it'll be a corner kick, Chris Wehan. Over to take the Chick-fil-A corner.
A little interchanging of position from Armando Moreno and Devin Sandoval. Gets the ball out wide, tries to dink it into the back post.
Wehan in swinger, far post. It'll stay in. Moreno. Chip far post and headed out. Good work by Rebellon, good positioning. Guzman back in. And it'll be a foul on United to give El Paso the free kick.
Looks like it might have been offside on Kalen Ryden. Locomotive do a good job of defending that corner kick and the second ball in by Armando Moreno.
Well, 8th notch in full effect tonight at Southwest University Park. This is and I'm using air quote marks, capacity crowd of 1,500. as a foul on Tenari in the center circle takes down Rebellon. But the tickets sold out early this week. Fans loving the opportunity to come see Locomotive FC play. Rebellon tries the back heel, no look. And it will roll into touch for El Paso. The other part of this you hate to see for Omar Salgado is the form he was in, and you talked about it. 2 goals, 2 assists, a key in unlocking New Mexico United late. 3 straight matches where Locomotive scored the winning goal after the 85th minute, and he was a big part of a lot of that. And another free kick earned as Gomez and Locomotive continue to put New Mexico United under pressure. They've given away some free kicks in some pretty dangerous spots. This might be close enough for Dylan Maris.
And not very surprised about the amount of fouls that have been called so far in this first half. And in the 3 meetings this year between these 2 teams, a total of 19 cards has been issued. Now with New Mexico United conceding 42 fouls. So the contest, the games have been highly...
Jerome will give it a ride right into the wall. Yeah, I think chippy would be the word. Definitely. Borelli. Another foul earned. Chaparrera taking a seat, courtesy of Moreno this time. Gomez a little slow to get up as well. Well, that is not what Mark Lowry needs.
And then just looking over at him on the far sideline, having a word with fourth official Marco Vega, just letting him know, hey, I need you guys to protect my players. It's not the on-ball contact that he's really concerned about. It's some of the off-the-ball late contact.
Carrijo. It'll bounce kindly for Sandoval. Guzman, though, right back to Ryan. Maris will cut back. Draws a crowd. Good service from Gomez. Maris! Shot parried away by Mizell. On the Karen, Borelli, far post. Lifted over the back line, last touched by Suggs.
And the one thing the Locomotive have done a very good job in this first half so far is put pressure on Juan Pablo Guzman and Salim Mohammed. As soon as those guys get on the ball, they're getting swarmed. They don't have time to look to play Chris Wehan and combine with the attacking players for New Mexico United. That level of pressure, that high pressure from the midfield 4 of El Paso has really created trouble for New Mexico United.
And it'll be Maris from the right side for the Chick-fil-A corner kick. A man from Zionsville, Indiana. Right into the middle, headed out by Sandoval. Tenari gives a little extra scuff. And here's Jerome. Long switch, Rebellon. Flag is up. Speaking of Dylan Maris, he's our Southwest University player profile tonight. Scored the game winner versus New Mexico in the 88th minute. Assisted to Maka King in that September 5th game as well, and leads the team in chances created 36th in the league. Or 36th, with 36 rather, he is second in the league in chances created.
He's been absolutely terrific. A terrific addition to this group. Just creative, the ability to create in the attack, the ability to make late runs into the box. We've seen him score 2 goals just by making late runs into the box. That's what's really impressive about him.
Great work on the touchline. Gomez now controlling. Carrijo, Borelli, and Chapa Herrera all combining to keep that moving for Locomotive FC. Now they'll switch it out to the right. Lots of room for Maka King. Has a go at Tenari. Good defending. Andrew Tenari out of Holbrook, New York. .63% possession for Locomotive FC to 37 for United. And it's showing into our 27 minutes so far. Yuma will take the steam out of that. Talk about Javier Monsalves Carazo, alias Yuma. 5'9", 170 pounds. Not too many 5'9", 170-pound, 34-year-old center backs, but he fills the role well when he needs to.
Definitely channeling his inner Fabio Cannavaro tonight. Doesn't have to be the biggest. Definitely has experience, is a smart player.
Trying to get there is Gomez, and he's going to be whistled for the foul, I think. Hamilton goes to ground.
That's just smart play from Sam Hamilton, getting his body between the player and the ball. Not a lot of contact on that. However, recognizing that there is some contact, and as long as my body's between the ball and the player,
you're going to get the benefit.
Exactly.
Maybe a bit of a heel clip. As you might be able to hear, that's not a sound effect. That's an actual locomotive passing by Southwest University Park. Moreno. Yeah, that's a pull. And that could be a card indeed, Eder Borelli.
Richard Ryan is going to have to be really cautious here not to get too close to the referee and make contact with him where he gets carded.
So the physical yellow card issued to Eder Borelli, who was holding on for dear life to keep Moreno from breaking away. Apparently there was some contact before then, but
yeah, it was a contact from Salim Mohammed on Yuma as he looked to clear the ball. There is feeling like that should have been that was the initial foul. That was the first foul, and the referee missed it. And if that was called, then the one on Eder Borelli gets avoided.
Weehan and Suggs. It'll be Suggs. In swinger. Punched away by Ketterer. Strong challenge. And the foul will be whistled on Devin Sandoval. Making contact with the man with the Twitter handle, Keeper Ketterer.
And that's well done by Logan Ketterer, being aggressive. Commanding the 6-yard box. I know that's something that goalkeeping coach J.C. Garzon has been really emphasizing with him.
Chapa to Borelli in space. Cuts it back. Gomez trying to tow it ahead, but it's Weehan. Right back to Gomez, though. Ryan will switch it out. Splits it between King and Meshach Jerome, and here's Rebellon. Rebellon. That will be a foul. And Tenari throws it, he boots it over the touchline, and I think a little extra word here coming from Ricardo Fierro. 4 yellow cards for Andrew Tenari. He doesn't need a 5th, or he will miss United's next match. Whenever that is, and another Locomotive player down. I believe that is Rebellon.
And I'm sorry, but that's got to be a yellow card for me.
Honestly.
Like there's no way you pick the ball up and punt it off the field and don't get carded, especially after you just committed a foul. Yeah, the foul could have been the yellow card, but most certainly, yeah, picking up the ball and punting it off the field is certainly a yellow card. Not sure what the referee is having a conversation with him about. That there's no room for that, in my opinion.
I believe he was already warned earlier. We are in our Hydro Flask hydration break. New Mexico still had the opportunity to make up a match against RGV that was supposed to be played last Wednesday. The Toros, though, as they have throughout the season, had a few folks test well. I don't know. I can't say more than one. Let's just not say that. But they have tested positive for COVID-19, someone on the team, at least one, and they're waiting for the league to determine when that match will be made up or if it's made up at all. Match still to be confirmed by the USL Championship, so possibly, New Mexico United might not have to play that regular season 16th match and keep it at 15, while every other team, including El Paso, will play 16. RGV a match on the 30th. New Mexico does as well. Toros also play on October 3rd. So not a real good window to try and make that one up. We'll see what the USL Championship decides.
And then that's a tough one, especially since El Paso they're making up the game against Colorado Springs Switchback on the 30th. That one originally supposed to be played earlier this month. However, you have to understand that, when there's protocols in place and when players or staff members, when there is a positive test, games have to be pushed back. From that standpoint, you understand that the USL is looking at the safety of the players and the organization.
Has to be taken into account. We return to play. Maka King on the restart after the foul on Rebellon, who had to start on the sideline, had a Texas Tech nod to the dock. Ricardo Ruiz way too busy. Here's Borelli. Service. Gomez whistles it for the far corner. Couldn't get it in. Mizell with the stop, but here's Rebellon. Back heel attempted by Maris. Shoved. The touch by Wright. But I will say, as we take a look at the shot by Gomez, easy enough for Cody Mizell to handle. Trying to guide it into that far post. But Mizell well positioned.
And 34 minutes into this game, the Locomotive are picking back up where they left off against Real Monarchs. It was one-way traffic for 90 minutes in that game. And that's how they've started this second half.
Sandoval will be whistled for the foul as Rebellon takes his seat. Big man from Albuquerque. Their first signing as Omar Salgado was for El Paso. We'll try to get an update on Omar Salgado's status, obviously out for this match anyway. And hopefully nothing lasting. He's had such a great year, finally injury-free, but straight to the locker room for El Paso's number 9. Ketterer. Tenari flashes in front. Ketterer boots it out along the touchline, and it'll be a throw for New Mexico. Yearwood being urged to move back a bit.
And if you're Chorley saying, you've got to be a big concern at the lack of service that Devin Sandoval is getting in this first half. To some degree, that's on him because he's playing right in front of Yuma and making it easy for him. However, the Locomotive have done a very good job in this first half of putting pressure on the midfield players in the back line of New Mexico United, that they're not having time to get service to Devin Sandoval. So it's been a team effort so far from El Paso and making sure the big man from New Mexico it isn't effective.
And then Borelli, challenged by Weehan, maybe waited a touch too long, and Weehan will earn a deep throw in. And Carrijo taken down. And Armando Moreno's going to get a yellow card, persistent infringement. 36th minute physical yellow card given to Moreno. as Ricardo Fierro starts to go to that front pocket. Speaking of physical yellow card, it has been a physical match. All the way up for Gomez. There's service from King. Good work by Yearwood. Yuma keeps it moving. Yuma playing way up. Borelli, that's scuffed into the box. Surprised to see it was Carrijo, I think. And it'll be a goal kick. Nope, strike it. El Paso throw in.
Sam Hamilton whiffing on that clearance. Throwing Alejandro Carrillo just a bit off.
Nice slide by Borelli. And it'll be a Chick-fil-A corner as Chaparrera there as it's sent over the byline. And Dylan Miras to do the honors for a third time tonight for El Paso.
And if you look at New Mexico, you see how heavy they are on the back post, recognizing how often the Locomotive have.
It is to the back post, chip down, Yuma. Tangle for it, play on. Chaparrera just mowed down. On the counter, Tenari, great work by Yuma, and a blast to the kick by Mishak Jerome to clear it away. That was Yuma's Gandalf moment, you shall not pass, and Tenari stopped cold. Borelli, throw coming for United. Troy Lassaine's men trying to assert themselves here, a little offense. Coming to the 39th minute. Good long throw in, but it's straight to Rebellon. Gomez waiting for it, never got there. Good work by Yearwood. Top of the box, trying to turn. Weehan fought off by Rebellon. And Rebellon scissored down. Free kick coming, and here's another physical yellow card, and now Mishak Jerome getting into things with Weehan. Kalen Ryden was part of that Real Monarchs team that won the USL Cup Championship, defeating El Paso Locomotive FC in the Western Conference Finals to get there.
And we talked about this game meaning so much to both teams. New Mexico United wanted that first place in the groove. They've done so well so far in 2020, having to fight off obviously everything that comes with the challenges with COVID, but also playing every single game on the road. They fought so hard so far. They want something to take home for it. They want something to show for it. And El Paso really won that home game in the playoffs. So tonight it is a big match for both teams, and you can see it in how aggressive both groups are playing.
Good touch by Gomez, but that'll bounce straight up to Hamilton. New Mexico United not going down without a fight, that is for sure. And I believe Salih Mohammed was issued the physical yellow card in the 39th minute. Also for persistent infringement. Locomotive FC. Back to work with the ball. Richie Ryan. Maka King. And I'll take that physical yellow card off the board. It seemed like Ricardo Fierro was going to the front pocket. That was not the case. This will be, though, and it'll be on Rebellon as he takes down Weehan. 41st minute.
That didn't look like an intentional foul. Just looked like he was trying to change direction and actually caught the back heel of Chris Weehan. However, I believe that's Brian Rebellon's 5th yellow card, so he will have to sit out of the match. it'd be unfortunate he has to miss the next match. However, Coach Mark Lowry will probably be a bit happy on the sideline over there because now his slate is clean.
Going into the playoffs, Ketterer couldn't get there. Moreno to run it down. Booted in, lifted out. Borelli. United will keep possession here. Weehan down that left side, fronted by Carrijo. Great work by Maka King. That's Suggs. And Suggs will take down King. As the physicality continues to be ramped up. King on the restart, long ball. Gomez trying to get there, but good positioning by Kalen Wright. Moreno, a little bump from Logan Ketterer. On the road, can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC. North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney Marsh. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week along with action from Major League Soccer, the Premier League, UEFA Champions League as well. SiriusXM FC, channel 157 on your SiriusXM radio and the SiriusXM app. Rebellon, nice ball. Out to the left, Carrijo. Borelli. Chop Herrera. Bryan and King. Will switch it out again. Nice touch by Borelli, offside. Flag is up.
And that's a close one. If it is offside, Leandro Carrillo has got to be disappointed with himself a little bit because he can look across the back line of New Mexico United. So he should be able to see and position himself so he's onside. But that definitely was close. And I think the linesman got that one right.
He was stationed right at that corner of the 18. Moreno slides down for him, trying to control. Moreno's going to get it back. Flag is up, offside. Gennari doesn't agree and nearly runs into Ricardo Fierro as he climbs on Manuel Vargas' case. Into the 45th minute we go at Southwest University Park. It has been eventful, though there is no score. Omar Salgado had to be substituted out in the 18th minute with an injury. Leandro Carrijo replaces him. We've had 3 physical yellow cards in the first half already. And I'm sure more to come as we continue. Cody Mizell back in his blues tonight. El Gato Azul. Out to Suggs. Ryden. Challenged by Gomez. And it will be 4 minutes of Arrito stoppage time. Throw-in coming for New Mexico. Looks like there was a little discussion about who was going to put the ball back in play. And actually a foul.
And you have to love the change, tactical change by Mark Lowry for this game. The first 3 matchups so far between these 2 teams. El Paso sat back a little bit and let New Mexico United's center backs enjoy a bit of the ball too much. And in this game, Kalen Wright and Sam Hamilton have been under pressure consistently from Jose Aron Gomez and Leandro Carrillo. So that bit of pressure on the two center backs from New Mexico United has made it hard for them to have rhythm and be able to play a bit more in this game.
Yearwood and Hamilton. Long switch out to Josh Suggs. Gennari. King got a piece. Good work by Gennari to get loose. Nice ball in Moreno. Met well by Jerome and Yuma. Loose ball. It'll be Weehan trying to play it in. Straight to Borelli. And New Mexico finding its way in here in stoppage time. Maybe just over 1 more minute to go at the discretion of Ricardo Fierro for Jarrito stoppage time. Yearwood gets an escort from Herrera. Able to deliver Gennari. Suggs. Dangerous at the 18. Suggs, Sandoval, straight to awaiting keeper Kettering. Sandoval, 4 goals this season. 3 have come against Locomotive FC. I think he scored once in every single match the teams have played.
And it's not so much the goals that have stood out for Steven Sandoval in those 3 meetings. Ooh.
That was close. Good challenge by Herrera on Moreno, sliding in. To earn Locomotive a throw was Carrejo. Good switch, here's King. Good sidestep, we'll go back to Jerome. Borelli, Carrejo, Harris. Herrera, another throw. Long service, Borelli. Carrejo can't front to put in a shot. Jack Jerome thought Sandoval was going to go somewhere where he didn't. King back up. Carrejo tries to dummy one, and it's punched away by Mohammed, and a foul here. Ryan, remonstrations to the referee as Gennari meets Brian Rebellon. That should just about do it with an extra restart.
And Brian Rebellon was very smart to walk away and get as far from the referee as possible.
Sometimes distance is a good thing. You don't want to hang out.
I'm sure this would be the last kick of the half. Mark Lowry has to be pleased with how well his group has played in this first half. Are a little bit disappointed at the fact that they haven't been able to put the ball in the back of the net. However, the performance, the chances they've created, the amount of pressure that they've put on New Mexico United and kept them from playing. A lot of positives in this first half from Coach Mark Lowry.
Another minute on this restart. Long ball out of the back. And a foul in the box. I believe on Hamilton. And that's going to do it for half number 1. As both teams come together. As you might expect when these two desert rivals get together. Contentious. 3 yellow cards. An injury substitution already. And we've got 45 more minutes to go. No score at the half. Locomotive FC 0. New Mexico United 0. Time stats and plenty more when we continue the GECU halftime show coming up next.
It's now time for the GECU halftime show.
Welcome to the GECU halftime show. The score at half is El Paso Locomotive 0, New Mexico United 0. At this time, we want to recognize tonight's Hospital of Province honorary captain, Derek Blancas. Derek is 10 years old and has been battling leukemia the past 3 years. Because of his strength and determination, his treatment should end this coming spring. He is under great care with the team at the Hospital Province. Keep fighting strong, Derek, and thank you for being tonight's honorary captain. At half, the score is El Paso Locomotive 0, New Mexico United 0. The GECU halftime show will return after this.
What a beauty! It's fantastic! Sensational! Fantastic! Any way you slice it. This one he puts away, fires and scores! What an unbelievable strike. Oh, what a goal!
There's the shot, it scores! Attacking, shooting, and scoring!
Oakland. The town.
A world-class city where it's not just about where you're going,
But it's also where you come from.
see here,
There's always room at the top.
where sky's the limit.
But roots help keep you grounded. And this is town business. If you know, you know. Some might say it's rough around the edges.
But we all know that the flavors are in the margins. It's a family affair out here.
It's all eyes on we.
Hold it down for the people holding you up. These things matter to us.
It is Let's Go Oakland over and over and over again, where East Oakland and West Oakland meet.
Show the town love.
And the town will love you back. Oakland, forever.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Our score at the half as we continue the GECU halftime show. El Paso Locomotive FC 0, New Mexico United 0. Let's take a check of the Group C standings here for you today. Win, and Group C is theirs for Locomotive FC. 27 points, 4 ahead of New Mexico United. Each team having played 13 matches. This is our 14th. 23 points for New Mexico United's Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, Real Monarchs SLC, already eliminated from the playoff race. So New Mexico United, if they win, keep the question alive as to who will represent Group C as champion and have a home match. And obviously New Mexico United would love for restrictions to be lifted. They have had a long road to travel this season, all season long. But El Paso Locomotive FC looking for that first home match. It would be against the Group D second place team. Right now, that's either FC Tulsa or Austin Bold. We'll see how things come out after this weekend, and we'll have a clearer picture. But here so far tonight, Locomotive FC with 27 points to pace New Mexico United by 4. 2 more matches to play for Locomotive FC. United, they've got 2 in the schedule. We'll see if they play both. But United definitely with 1 at the end of next weekend. The score, once again, here at Southwest University Park, 0-0 Locomotive FC versus New Mexico United. Back with more right after this. Welcome back to Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso, Texas. A look at the Plaza Hotel, brand new and opened up after a revamping. Locomotive FC 0, New Mexico United 0. Duke Keith along with Michael Ballaghan with you here from El Paso, Texas. And playoff tickets on sale as we take a check of team news. It will happen. Playoff tickets for ticket members, for season ticket members. It's going to happen Monday at 10 a.m. Individual and wait list and group tickets. That can happen Tuesday at 10 a.m. in the general public. Whatever's left over Wednesday at 10 a.m. The playoff tickets on sale for that first playoff match. And especially if Locomotive FC shows up Group C, that match will be here in El Paso. So we'll wait and see how Locomotive FC is able to do, but that is the news. Should El Paso sew up Group C, that'll be the way it works beginning Monday at 10 a.m. if Locomotive wins tonight. Brent Kallman recalled by Minnesota United. He was on loan. It was completely up to Minnesota United whether or not he went back. That happened earlier this week, but Kallman really made an impact in his time in El Paso. And 33% off the entire stock of BLK gear at the team store. You can purchase them online at eplocomotivefc.com or in person at both team shops at Southwest University Park. And we do want to point out that the tickets, the playoff tickets, will be on sale regardless. They just want to get those out for season ticket members who are interested. As El Paso, we wait to see whether or not they have that playoff game. But they will go on sale Monday regardless, and then Tuesday to individual wait lists and groups, and then to general public on Wednesday. Taking a check of the first half statistics, take a look at the possession. 63% to 37%, but New Mexico United clawing their way. They had some decent opportunities, Michael, at the end of the first half of play. Passing accuracy, both teams a little bit lower than what you might expect, but it's been a physical kind of a stop-start, very, very chippy first half.
Yeah, it's definitely been what we expect from two teams that are vying for the first place in their group. So they're going to look to come out and clean some things up in the final third, especially for the Locomotive. And just to get going for New Mexico United, they've done a lot of defending in that first half. So can they get some rhythm and get some possession against the high pressure of El Paso Locomotive? So that's going to be the two keys for both groups coming out into the second half.
For Locomotive FC, they have traditionally not started that well versus New Mexico United, you have to say, on the front foot from the opening kick here tonight at Southwest University Park. Let's take a break. When we come back, second half action coming up from Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso. Locomotive FC 0, New Mexico United 0. This has been the GECU Halftime Show. Welcome back, Southwest University Park, the place, El Paso, Texas, in downtown. Locomotive FC 0, New Mexico United 0. Duke Keith, Michael Balagan. Let's take a check of our first half highlights. As we see Maka King, good pass right up to Salgado. They gave him space. He takes one, and it's right off the crossbar. On the free kick, Meshach Jerome, left post. Only thing was missing was the right post. Oh, Maka King will send one in here. Far post, Rabellon. That's parried away by Mizell. Borelli to the far post. Gomez, take a look at this angle. Josue Aron Gomez. It's Mizell touching it in. Gomez thought he had a goal. Goal was not given. Play on. And there is Omar Salgado's injury that happened in the 17th minute, subbed out in the 18th. They took a while to take a look at him as he grabs that right knee. We'll stay on top of that for you as best we can. Moreno to the far post. Sandoval beaten to the punch by Maka King. That gave New Mexico a corner kick with which they weren't able to do anything. And that's where we stand as we get ready for the second half here tonight at Southwest University Park. 3 yellow cards, lots of fouls, and a substitution coming on at the half for New Mexico United will be David Estrada.
And it looks like it's Juan Pablo Guzman that goes out.
Well, that's a big loss.
Andrew Teneri slides into the midfield for them. Really surprised by that because of how big of a player he's been for them. I would have thought it would have been Sully Muhammad. That maybe is the first substitution for New Mexico United. Definitely thought that they missed the quality of Andrew Tenari in their midfield in that first half. However, it's Guzman that makes way for David Estrada.
And interesting, I don't know if there was an injury situation. If we can get a word on that, we will. But Estrada is in, and he scored against Locomotive FC. We hand to Estrada, first action. From the young man from Morelia, Mexico. Dylan Maris. Bounces nicely. Gomez leaves the ball behind, but it's Maris to pick it up. Maris trying to set something. Gives to Rebellon. Rebellon tries to dribble through two and does. Rebellon, far post, knotted wide. Carrijo. To downstairs we go. Tanya Dominguez with Mark Lowry.
So I'm here with head coach Mark Lowry. Coach, it's been a very physical game with an unfortunate injury. We hope Salgado is okay. How does him being out for the rest of the match change the game plan?
You know, when you lose Omar, you lose a lot of pace down the side. So Carrillo's come in as a different player. Right now we're dealing with a lot of injuries, you know, but the guys on the field have been fantastic. I think it's a good game.
Yes, and it's also been a very high-pressure game. And Coach, you talked about conversions, which there's been a lot of chances. How are we going to execute those chances here in the second half?
I mean, we hit the woodwork 4 times in the first 5 minutes, which is unheard of, but the guys stuck with it, that we kept creating the chances. One will drop in, but we have to keep the intensity high.
Thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Here's Suggs. Saleh Mohammed, who will certainly be a candidate for goal of the year for his 1 goal this season. Just an absolute bomb from about 35 yards out. First time on the volley. And that was, I think, in the first match of the restart in Colorado Springs. Hasn't found the back of the net since. Carrijo was offside, had to let that go. But you heard Mark Lowry talk about it. Omar Salgado hitting the crossbar. Mishak Jerome off the left post. And here's Richie Ryan. Gomez. A little slow, easy pickup from Moreno. Moreno will take it back and almost dropped it off for Richie Ryan. New Mexico, good spell of possession here. Yearwood. Tenari rolled into space for Moreno, who will get there. Bringing it out for the service. Sandoval slides and misses. Back to the net, not sure what he would have done with it. And here's Gomez on the touchline. Nice knock. He gives Muhammad a little what for. Rebellon. Locomotive will switch it to Borelli. Eder Borelli. Up for Gomez, who's taken down, and no foul called. Play on. Suggs clattering into Gomez's back. It will be a goal kick.
And that's a close one.
Really.
I think with their backs turned to the referee probably couldn't see the hands extended, and he's gonna have to rely on his AR to be able to call that. There is some contact. Looks more like Suggs is trying to brace himself and not run over Jose Aaron Gomez. However, the hands come out, they're extended out of the body. Could have been easily called a penalty or a foul.
It was right on the edge of the 18-yard box. But contact was made. Hamilton. Tenari. Room for Kalen Ryden. Suggs Tenari to Moreno. Knocked it right into the waiting feet of Yuma, the veteran Spaniard. King, not a good clearance there, and trying for a shot was Weehan and deflects. Eye into the sky, Richie Ryan. Gets it to the feet of Maris, and here comes El Paso. That's behind Carrijo. Rebellon to pick up the slack and gets taken off of the ball by Tenari. Back to Maris, though. Nice sidestep. Maris will have a go from distance and gives it a ride.
Really good feed from Dylan Maris to get away from 3 New Mexico United defenders. However, so far in the second half, we've seen New Mexico United be able to get a bit more rhythm and create a bit more going forward. And to me, that has to do with Andrew Tenari going into the center of the park. He gives them something in there. He's got tenacity off the ball, but also has got some quality on the ball.
So an adjustment from Troy Lassane. El Paso trying to keep a hold of possession here. Maris again serves it back, and it's Weehan straight to Moreno. On the counter, Ryan, great sliding tackle by Yuma, but a little too much contact with the body, and that's actually behind the play. The foul is on Richie Ryan. Waiting to see the advantage, so not the Yuma challenge. It's the challenge has already happened as you take a look at the replay.
And Armando Moreno does well to stay up and not go down after the contact from Richie Ryan. It's a clear foul, and you see Richie Ryan put his hand up to sort of admit that I did foul him, even though the Yuma and Mishak were a bit upset at the call.
51st minute physical yellow card issued to Richie Ryan, the veteran Irishman. Third yellow for El Paso, 1 for New Mexico, and here's the big dangerous free kick. Weehan just over. He did not miss by much. Ketterer seemed to have his angles covered, but wisely lets it go over the crossbar.
Not enough bend on that. It doesn't dip quick enough.
Logan Ketterer tied for 3rd in clean sheets this season with 5. Ben Lunt of Blue City and Evan Lauro of Tampa Bay, each with 6 on the season. El Paso trying to gain some control here. Rebellon. Chaperera. Rebellon, nice toe poke. That's Borelli. Gomez receives it, trying to get there in time. Mizell. Ball rolls, but it's controlled and lifted out by Josh Suggs. One of the best chances of the night. Josue Aron Gomez just couldn't corral it entirely.
That's a great early ball from Borelli. Just drops it over the head of Kalen Ryden. That first touch from Jose Aron Gomez, I'm sure he didn't want that back. Just gets away from him a bit too much. An awkward shot from Cody Mizell, but does enough to throw him off. And the clearance off the line.
Rebellon. Nice sidestep. Trying to get the ball to Carrijo. He does, but Carrijo can't control, and Yearwood blasts it out. Ketterer trying for the long ball. Yearwood under it. Borelli back and forth. Chaperera. Carrijo way out on that left wing. He is definitely in Salgado's typical slot. Carrijo's service trying to find King, crashing in, but Suggs there first.
I think you get something different with Carrillo out there. He's not a natural lefty, number one, so he's not going to go down line. Doesn't have the pace that Omar Salgado has. There's just something missing when you get Carrillo in that spot instead of Omar Salgado.
Great work by Ryan to win that back. Yuma, Ryan. And a Locomotive throw. Ryan off of Estrada. Rebellon. And Rebellon is down. Not much in the challenge, but if there's any Locomotive FC player who consistently takes more of a beating than Brian Rebellon, I don't know who it is. Just a physically challenging player. He's up under his own steam. He'll appear to shake it off. And we will not need a Texas Tech nod to the dock. Ricardo Ruiz has been way too busy already this evening. The USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allowing clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer, bringing together top local youth talent. Following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, which will kick off next spring. For more information, visit usl-academy.com or search hashtag USL Academy on social media. Something that you are happy to be a part of with Locomotive FC is Bob Bigney continues to set the table for bringing along some great young El Paso talent. You see it on the field with Locomotive FC, everybody from Omar Salgado, top draft pick of the Vancouver Whitecaps in 2011, to Chape Herrera, as we said. Showed up at one of those open tryouts and signed a professional contract. It'll bounce to Suggs, to Moreno. I'm not sure if he saw that coming. Moreno chased into the corner. And will earn a throw off of Macaulay King. Suggs, the quick throw in. There's a shot. Moreno actually looking for far post. Controlled by United, though. And they have been a little better in this second half. As you pointed out, Tenari, maybe a big reason. Here's Weehan, dribbles it in, and Yuma, cool, calm, collected, but that one given up. Tenari back in, Moreno, shaved by Ketterer. They want a handball.
And two big saves, or two big interceptions from Yuma. Talked about him not being a natural center back. However, he's done well to step into that spot. He reads the game so well. Such a smart player, and in crucial moments, back to back, steps up.
Locomotive FC playing with fire, dangerous giveaway. King tries the back heel to Herrera. Does seem like some of these teammates aren't quite on the same page. Here's Gomez. Flashes back to receive from Ryan. Gets to run at the defense. That shot off the back of Hamilton. Rather Wrighton, and it's a foul on Gomez as he takes down Suggs in the box. But talking about what the Locomotive FC Youth Academy is trying to build, you see the talent in El Paso, don't you, Michael?
Yeah, there's a ton of talent here in El Paso now. It's can you get them the best talent training together regularly, day in, day out? Can you get them competing on a national level where the games are competitive weekly and you're giving them exposure to national competitions, national events, national scouts, and also a professional pathway. So it's a multiple prong approach in building a youth club here in El Paso.
Carrijo shaking off Yearwood. receives it back. Ryan King. King, time for service, but parried out by Suggs. And here's Sandoval. Earns the foul from Jerome. And earns his team a free kick. It has been a little quiet for New Mexico United's number 9 tonight.
He's definitely getting special attention from the 2 center backs of the Locomotive. Talked about Yuma already. Just how smart of a player he is. Meshach Jerome has done a great job getting his body on the big man of New Mexico United and not giving him time, not giving him space. Now allow him.
Good interplay here. Carrijo, Gomez, Chaperera, Richie Ryan, all involved along with Borelli. Up to Gomez. Maka King. Moreno. That will be a foul. Moreno taking down Maka King, who's looking for a card. Guys, what do you think, huh?
And a late whistle from the referee. I think the referee blew the whistle late because Josh Suggs slowed himself down and looked like he was expecting the referee to call the foul. The referee initially didn't look like he was going to call it, but Josh Suggs' reaction and him slowing down, waiting for the whistle, in my opinion, prompted the referee to actually give the foul.
Well, Ricardo Fierro blew his whistle. Manuel Vargas lifted his flag as well. And the result is a free kick in very dangerous territory for Dylan Maris. Hard angle if he's trying to go for goal, but I don't think that's the plan. Maris knocked out by Sandoval. Straight for Ryan. Borelli, that's deflected by Yearwood. Good positioning. Sandoval working to get it out, and does. Meshach Jerome right back up the middle. Rebellon gets ahead to it. King trying to control, but out off of Ryden. And room to roam for Armando Moreno. Young man of the Chicago Fire organization. Has really come on strong, but an awkward first touch and maybe not the best ball from Moreno for Sandoval.
Wasn't sure Sandoval was trying to get out of the way of that ball because he had players behind him in Chris Wehan and Andrew Tenari. Not sure if he was trying to get out of the way or flick it onto them, but either way, takes an awkward first touch or takes an awkward cut touch.
Rebellon working on Suggs. Maris, Ryan. And a switch out to the left. Here's Herrera. Borelli. Nice thought to get it to Maris, but Tenari, right place, right time. Borelli. One gets away from Yearwood. Carrijo to challenge. It'll stay in play, but Yuma. Cool, calm, and collected. Normally the number 6 along with Richie Ryan, when they're in at the same time, it's usually a double pivot, but with the absence of Chiro and Toko out with an ACL injury, he's doing his job. Maris thrown off the ball, but here's Rebellon. Gomez looking to keep possession. Locomotive FC continues, spraying it around the field. Herrera. Nobody open ahead, so back to Yuma he goes. Ryan. Maris taken down by Muhammad and wins another free kick for Locomotive FC.
That's just a frustration foul from Soli Muhammad. When you're the big guy and you're having to chase all these little guys around the field. At some point, Just kind of take one of them down to get yourself a breather. Billy Muhammad has just gotten tired of chasing the little guys. The Dylan Maris and Chapa Herrera got tired of chasing him around a little bit. Gives himself a little bit of a longer breather.
6'1" defensive midfielder out of Richmond, California. And here is Maris. In swinger. Sandoval again gets ahead to it. Bounces kindly for King. Step over. Chip back to the far post. Nobody in whites on the end of that. Gomez has to run it down, but will. Head to head, Gomez sidesteps one, but not the other. Estrada and Yearwood combining to get that one away. Only so far as Yuma, though. Maris working for that right foot, tries to slide it over, gets away from Suggs. King wasn't ready, Suggs wasn't ready, but Suggs will control. And room to roam up that left side for Josh Suggs. Crosses it to Estrada. Estrada into the area, Moreno too far ahead. And we will have a substitution here in the 66th minute. Andrew Tenari's night is done. The flying Hawaiian, Ryan Williams, will come on. Williams suspended for the last match between these two teams in early September. Young man from Miliani, Hawaii, 23 years of age. And perhaps Troy Lesane just trying to save Tenari's legs. He's been very active tonight. Yearwood. Muhammad. Missed on that pass. Maybe tired legs for him as well. Carrijo. Good work by Moreno. Carrijo rides him down, and that'll be a free kick, and Moreno stays down. Leandro Carrijo, not a small person, and he will get a physical yellow card here in the 67th minute. Listed at 5'10", but I think he's about 6 feet tall.
No chance he's 5'10".
Right? 5'10", 170? No.
Might be the first player to list himself smaller than he actually is.
On the restart, here is Suggs. To Moreno. Little give and go over Weehan's head, in tight. Weehan far post, knocked down and a miss. Trying for that to no avail was Estrada, and the flag is up. Wouldn't have mattered anyway.
And a dangerous moment for New Mexico United. It's a quick combination, getting it over. I think the return pass was meant for Chris Weehan, but somehow found Armando Moreno.
Carrijo shakes Suggs' pressure. Maris, nice touch out to Rebellon. Looking to cross, pulls it back, draws a crowd. Wow, what a great pass. Maris out left side, now Borelli. Borelli has a go. Easy for Mizell to take. But Rebellon, we talk about line-splitting passes that go over the top. That one went from right to left through 4 United players. Yuma. Locomotive FC still looking for the breakthrough. New Mexico United has had a couple of decent opportunities themselves. High pressure here by Locomotive. Chaparrera along with Gomez chasing him down. Sandoval, good flick on. Moreno thought Weehan was going to be in a different spot. As we enter the 70th minute tonight from El Paso, Texas, Locomotive FC trying to earn the full 3 points and sew up the Group C championship. A tie will not do that. Gomez draws the crowd, takes it further toward the byline. Gomez again against Yearwood. It'll bounce for Mohammed. Yuma, good trap. That'll get away from Borelli. Locomotive FC players want to throw in, and Mark Lowry questioning Ricardo Fierro, saying, why is the throw going for Locomotive FC? A throw in it will be. Rebellon, Gomez trying to knot it down for himself. Outpaced to the ball by Wright. Good work by the veteran defender. Norman, Oklahoma's own. He and I watching the Oklahoma Sooners today, probably not fun for either one of us. Yuma. Sandoval and Estrada. Back into the middle. Therefore, it was Williams. Out to Suggs. Ishak Jerome. Suggs will keep it in play. Naka King asking but not receiving. Word from the ref that he got it to deflect off of Suggs. It'll be a Chick-fil-A corner, though, for New Mexico United.
And Devin Sandoval has been a bit more effective in this half because he's found a way to get away from Brian Rebellon, who's very good at challenging on aerial balls.
It'll be Weehan to deliver it in. Low drive. And that is Gomez. Williams. Mohammed. That'll be keeper Ketterer all day. Fans follow Locomotive FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, Major League Soccer, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus. Watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Into the 73rd minute, a scoreless draw tonight between New Mexico United, doing anything they can to keep hope alive for a Group C title. Every single match United has played this season on the road, busing to most, if not all of them. I've done that to call minor hockey. Bus rides are never fun.
Not if you're doing them every week.
Indeed.
I think these are the moments where the Locomotive missed the pace of Omar Salgado. Yeah, they're getting the ball out to Leandro Carrillo, but there's just not the same kind of pace that Omar Salgado has that's able to get in behind back line and get going at Austin Yearwood. Leandro Carrillo's having to slow up the play and draw players, bring players into the action with him. That allows New Mexico United to get numbers back behind the ball.
Both teams looking for the key that's going to unlock the door. Here's Suggs. Suggs, Weehan. Weehan will take a shot, deflected far post, and it will be a corner kick. Rebellon to challenge. So another Chick-fil-A corner. And this time Suggs trotting out to the right. In swinger. Sandoval looked like he got ahead to it. He did, but it didn't go anywhere near the target. His back to the net. And a goal kick coming. We will have our second half hydration break.
And this is the moment where Coach Mark Lowry is reminding the players the importance of finishing out this game. We've seen 4 goals between these two teams in their 3 matches from the 75th, after the 75th minute. So both teams are used to scoring goals late in games. Both teams are comfortable looking for a goal late in games. That's something that Coach Mark Lowry's making sure the players are aware of, but also reminding them that they're a team that can get a goal late in the game. So which coach will be able to make the right changes, push the right buttons to get a goal in this last 15 minutes.
Estrella Jalisco upcoming schedule for Locomotive FC. 2 matches remaining on the road. That's at Colorado Springs Switchbacks this Wednesday. And then Saturday at Real Monarchs SLC. The Switchbacks game was the one that was scheduled to be played earlier. Had to be postponed as a player tested positive for COVID, or someone in the bubble for Switchbacks FC tested positive for COVID. And so that will be on Wednesday night, and then on the 4th versus Real Monarchs next weekend to wrap up the regular season. As we say, New Mexico United, 2 on the slate. But that makeup versus RGV Toros FC, it's questionable where they're going to fit that one in.
Definitely, and more reason why El Paso needs to, if they can get a goal late in this game, secure the #1 spot in the group and use these last couple of weeks to really, get players healthy. The Andrew Fox, the Nick Ross, who have been out, the Omar Sagaro, who went out tonight. Hopefully it's nothing major and he's able to return fairly quickly. But if they can get a win tonight, the #1 spot in Group C is secured, and then they can use the last couple of weeks to get the French players, the injured players, back to health.
Quick throw in, Sandoval, decent thought, trying to get it to Moreno. And off target, Yuma and Ketterer. Ketterer will just roll it into touch. And New Mexico finding their way forward with a little more consistency the later the second half goes. For Locomotive FC, they just have not been able to get anything working in that attacking third. Some opportunities, balls over the top. Bacchio, Carrijo, Rebellon, Maris. Maris stops on a dime. Maris to Gomez. Gomez. In from the left, Borelli crossing. Just missing as Carrijo. All set on a platter. One Bravo's teammate to another, and Carrijo cannot believe he wasn't able to get ahead to it. It was there. Best chance of the night.
And a great ball to find Jose Aron Gomez, recognizing that that Ed Borelli was wide open on the far left side. And a defty first-time cross, trying to look for Leandro Carrillo, and just not able to connect with him.
Sandoval keeps his right foot planted because Ketterer spilled the ball a bit. Never know if your foot's just going to be in the right place at the right time, but Ketterer controls nicely. Here's Yearwood. Gomez can't control. And that was the opportunity of the night for Locomotive FC. A little Bravos connection. Moreno, Sandoval. Looking for Suggs, but in the end, easy for Ketterer.
And you see the change from Coach Mark Lowry, getting Leandro Carrillo back centrally a little bit. Putting Aaron Gomez out on that left side that's normally operated by Omar Salgado. Now there's a bit more pace, on the wings.
So that's the adjustment as we head to our final 10 minutes of regulation. Maris always seems to draw a crowd. There's the foul on Williams. He takes down Chop Herrera.
I'm not sure about you, Duke, but I feel like there's at least a goal in this game.
The question is from whom? You have to say New Mexico United has found a little more joy moving forward in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Made some changes at halftime, mainly personnel changes in the center of the park. I think that the pressure of the Locomotive has died down a little bit on the two center backs of New Mexico United, and I think that's affected, or that's allowed them to have that joy that you talked about in possession and going forward.
Here's Borelli to Gomez. Double teamed there. Ryden's going to get a piece. Actually, Williams. Here's Yuma. Right back to it. Borelli. Gomez. Good work by Gomez to get loose. But in the end, it's Sam Hamilton. Estrada. I don't know where that pass was going. Maka King was happy, but Muhammad there to intercept. And return possession for the visitors. This was supposed to be a United home match. But again, COVID-19 restrictions in the state of New Mexico, which had a horrible outbreak on the Navajo reservation. Doing what they can. Too long out of the back, and maybe the legs starting to get a little tired on both sides. That's too far for Yearwood. But don't forget, win, lose, or draw, because the jury is still out, the tickets will go on sale for that playoff match on Monday for season ticket holders. Group tickets and special groups on Tuesday, and then to the general public on Wednesday. That match will be played on October the 10th. El Paso trying to assure themselves tonight that they will have those tickets to sell come Monday. Again, solid work in possession. Here's Rebellon, Maris. Doing a good job fronting him as Sam Hamilton, but Maris draws the foul.
The referee let that one go a little bit, but see Sam Hamilton hounding Dylan Maris, trying to force a bad pass or get a deflection on the ball.
King to Herrera. Rebellon can't control in the touch. Here's Moreno. Good work by Suggs. New Mexico, as you pointed out, more than holding their own in this second half defensively, which has allowed them to venture forward offensively. But here, Gomez able to get loose. Yearwood good in recovery. Gomez tries to run at him, gets a deflection. Ryan. Herrera. Yuma. Deft touch by the Spaniard. King. Rebellon has it go, scoops it, and almost got it over the netting. Substitutions coming for New Mexico. Coming off the field is Armando Moreno for Romeo Parks. He'll give way to Romeo Parks in the 85th. And Rashid Tete in for Salim Mohammed.
And that's an interesting one.
Oh, wow. And
David
Daniel Bruce
Estrada
as well, right.
Came on in this second half to start the second half for Juan Pablo Guzman. Is making way for Daniel Bruce.
Well, at the half, Juan Pablo Guzman came off, and it was Estrada coming in, but had maybe one touch in his time, and yeah, Troy Lisane had left him to pull the trigger and bring him out in favor of Daniel Bruce. So Bruce, Tete, and Parks all in for New Mexico.
And it looks like Troy Lisane has changed formations a little bit, going to a three in the back. 3-4-3, something that they use at different times of the year.
Yuma heads it back. That allows Ketterer to touch. And he'll play some keep away. Was Kalen Ryden coming all the way forward. Gomez gets tangled with Parks, and that's going to be a caution issued to Parks. Strike at Tete. In his first action on the night. In the 87th minute, the physical yellow card issued to Rashid Tete. On in the 85th, yellow card in the 87th.
Correction, I think it's more of a 3-5-2 with Romeo Parks playing the 10 position. Looks like Chris Wehan has dropped next to Brian Williams.
That'll bounce right to Rebellon, who's just trying to keep possession. Gets a turn. Trying to roll it up for Marist. Couldn't get there. Good work in the end by Hamilton. Back at King. Getting tangled with Sandoval, and it'll be a free kick for El Paso. Isn't it true that sometimes if you're the bigger player and you get tangled with somebody, that you're gonna get the foul, aren't you? Not that it wasn't. King Carrijo is gonna get a head to it. Gomez draws the double team. Nice back heel. Borelli, that's deflected. They want a handball. No handball. It will be a corner. Rashid Tete. It did go off him over the byline. But right in front of it was Ricardo Fierro, who says, no handball. It will be a Chick-fil-A corner, though, for Dylan Maris. See if we get a quick look at this.
That's a hard one.
Right, in swinger. Bounces off of Hamilton. And it'll be a throw-in for El Paso. Carrijo waiting at the near post.
That's a hard one because of how close Eder Borelli was to Rashid Tete.
Oh, wow.
Maybe
that's
not
as
look. Close. The hands looked like they were in an unnatural position.
Wow.
I think that's what the referee was alluding to originally.
King, the long throw-in. Ryan gets ahead to it. Ryden clears it out. That was a really good look. Gomez nicely. Carrijo up and over. but can't get under it before Yearwood gets back. King. Service. Far post headed down. It's Daniel Bruce. 3 minutes of Arito stoppage time. No score for either team. Maka King trying to get one, but Carrijo way offside. Well, a draw does El Paso no good. New Mexico will remain 4 points behind them in the standings if it finishes 0-0. But Locomotive FC has scored late goals before. Do they have one in them here? Does New Mexico United? 2 more minutes to find out. Mark Lowry wants pressure. Good work by Jerome. Mizell will roll to Hamilton. Gomez, that they couldn't control. But Gomez's pass a bit off target. Here's Hamilton, or Williams rather. Up to Parks, good touch. Romeo Parks running at the defense. To Sandoval. Sandoval, towed away Jerome.
That's well defended from Mishak Jerome.
Bruce with a low cross. Bounces far post. Tapped in, keeper Ketterer right there. It is no goal, the flag is up. A mad scramble. Ketterer on his line. Suggs back there as well to knock it around. But in the end, the assistant referee, Chris Canales, flag lifted. Free kick El Paso.
And what a cluster that was. A miss hit on the cross from Daniel Bruce. Josh Suggs doesn't connect well with it on the first attempt. And then finds himself offside on the second attempt.
Seconds remaining. This might go a little further because this is the restart. But we have had 3 minutes of Arito stoppage time. That is it. A 0-0 draw. So New Mexico United stays alive, earning their 24th point. Second draw between the teams. A win for both. And the regular season comes to a close here in El Paso. 2 more matches on the road for Locomotive FC to try and wrap up Group C. But a clean sheet. Mark Lowry will be pleased with that. 28 points, though, does not seal Group C for Locomotive FC, Michael.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to go on the road in their last 2 matches and get points against Real Monarchs and Colorado Springs. And that's the difficulty about not getting something in this game. You also don't get a chance to rest some players, to go into those games and really start trying to work to get players back from injury. Coach Mark Lowry will be pleased with the fact that they got a point in this game, but also a little disappointed that they didn't secure first place in Group C, allowing them to rest players.
And was it a handball? Interesting. We'll talk about that and plenty more. Take a look at the highlights and the stats as we continue. Here from El Paso, Texas, 0-0. Locomotive FC and United FC playing to the draw. 1 point apiece. Back to wrap things up in a bit. Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Duke Keith, Michael Balagan with you. 0-0. Locomotive FC, New Mexico United battling to the dread scoreless draw, and it doesn't do either team much good, Locomotive FC especially, because they were looking to wrap up Group C, which they would have done with the full 3 points tonight. That's going to have to happen on the road. El Paso, though, does get the clean sheet. They're 6th of the season. Logan Ketterer 6th of the season as well to improve to 8-2-4, 28 points. New Mexico United still in second, no closer, 7-4-3, 24 points for New Mexico United. And Michael, it was back and forth. I think El Paso probably had a better first half than second half tonight.
Yeah, definitely. They had that first 5-10 minutes of the game. They had a number of opportunities to get a goal and couldn't convert. Talked about that being one of the keys. Can they finish their chances? And they didn't do that in that first 10 minutes, where they had the majority of their chances in the first half. Second half, it was probably a bit more even contest. New Mexico had more possession than they did in the first half. They had more chances than they did in the first half. So overall, New Mexico United should be the more disappointed of the two teams, because this was a chance to close that gap with El Paso and possibly overtake them in the last two games of the regular season.
Let's take a look at our Estrella of the Match highlights, brought to you by Estrella Jalisco, and our Estrella of the Match is Josue Aron Gomez. Had the early challenge, Cody Mizell, but he was putting in some work tonight, and especially in the absence of Omar Salgado, El Paso Locomotive's leading scorer was called upon more than once this evening to try and get Locomotive a goal.
Yeah, and Jose Aron Gomez did very well to get some chances. This is the one that he will be thinking about and wanting back. A great ball from Eder Borelli, and just not getting that touch close enough to where he can take a shot on the second touch. The ball just gets a little too far from him, and Cozy Mizell does well to come out and smother it. But Jose Aron Gomez definitely has some chances in this game, and will be ruining the fact that he couldn't get on the score sheet for the Locomotive.
Let's take a look at our GECU save of the game. Logan Ketterer wasn't called upon often, but he was called upon and had to make a key stop here.
Yeah, a very quiet night from Logan Ketterer. However, definitely had to be on his toes in that moment. Comes off Moreno and then hits Yuma as he's working his way across the goal. Got to thank his back line and the players in front of him for doing their job and keeping it a very quiet night for him.
Tenari Moreno, and yes, off of Yuma's hip. Very dangerous, but that makes the save, I think, even more impressive, because he has to go. He doesn't think the ball's going there.
Yeah,
makes a great adjustment.
He's moving to his left and has to adjust to save the ball going to his right. It's not always the easiest for the goalkeeper, but however, a fairly comfortable save for Logan Ketterer.
Let's take a look at our physical play of the game. Brian Rebellon is going to get the nod here, as Rebellon in the midfield, making it work against United. Able to squirt one through, but not able to deliver that on target. Nonetheless, great work against the United defenders. Draws the crowd. Moreno and Suggs, no problem for the Colombiano.
It does well to muscle his way through that challenge and try to just dink the ball in towards that back post, looking for Leandro Carrillo. Austin Earwood does well to put pressure on him, but a very good play. Good movement from Brian Rebellon.
Let's take a look at our full-time stats. As Brian Rebellon, your physical play of the match. Full-time stats brought to you by the Hospitals of Providence. And there you see Locomotive, another dominating effort. Passing accuracy a little below Locomotive's standards, but again, very chippy game. New Mexico United always comes to play. The possession, a little better for United in the second half, and as you point out, maybe a little more disappointed they didn't come away with the 3 points, especially with that late challenge that was ruled offside. But total shots, yeah, it was about like that. Locomotive with 11 to United's 2. And I think, honestly, if I'm looking at it, Locomotive might be a little more disappointed that the two opportunities they did have, the big ones with Josue Aron Gomez, we saw that. The through ball with from the midfield And, of course, Leandro Carrijo, Eder Borelli serving in both. That is FC Juarez Bravos connection with both of those players. Gomez coming from FC Juarez last year, Carrijo this year. And just weren't able to hook it up and make it happen and put it away tonight, Mike.
Yeah, and then those chances coming in the second half. However, it was you've got to look back at the chance for Omar Salgado that hits the crossbar early in this game. The one from Mishak Jerome on the free kick that hits the post, and they had the header from Jose Aron Gomez that hits the post and then gets saved by Cody Mizell. So definitely plenty of opportunities in this game. And that's what Coach Mark Lowry is going to be a bit disappointed about, is the fact that they couldn't convert those chances in this match to secure that number one spot in Group C. But overall, a very decent game, a fair performance from the Locomotive, just not what Coach Mark Lowry would have wanted, knowing that with the win, they secure the first spot, and he can start resting players and working guys back from injury.
Let's move into the next match presented by the Brian Birds home selling team, and it will be on the road. This will be the makeup match, the match that was postponed earlier in the season against Switchbacks FC. That is going to be Wednesday in Colorado Springs, and then it will be Real Monarchs to close the season on the 4th of October. But a big one for Locomotive FC. They will have to come all guns blazing to try and earn that important 3 points as they try to secure Group C. As we are into the home stretch now, and the next time we speak to you, if Locomotive is able to secure that Group C, will be on the 10th of October with a playoff match, Michael.
Yeah, definitely in a driver's seat in this group. They have 2 games left. If they can get a win in one of the 2 games, they secure that spot, that coveted number 1 spot in Group C. We know that they want a home match in the playoffs. We know how important it is and how well they have played here at home, going 7-1-2 in 2020 at home. So they're definitely going to be looking to push and get a win in these next 2 games, in these final 2 games, so they can come back to Southwest University Park for a home playoff match.
Locomotive FC 0, New Mexico United 0. It just remains for us to thank all of our fine crew here at Southwest University Park. Our executive producer, Juan Gutierrez, on the sidelines, Tanya Dominguez, for my broadcast partner, Michael Balagan, and all of us here with El Paso Locomotive FC. The final score is no score. Locomotive FC 0, New Mexico United 0. Hopefully we see you in early October. Until then, I'm Duke Keith. So long from El Paso, Texas.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.